let's do some practice with weighted averages. Professor Ivy is teaching 3 sections of college algebra. The size and average grade for each class is listed in the given table. The dean is upset because she thinks the average score for the course is 68%, found by taking these 3 numbers, the sum, and dividing by 3. Well, Professor Ivy explains that a weighted average must be used because the classes are different sizes, right? The class that averaged a 44 only has 10 people in it. So that can't count as much as the class that's to average an 84 with 30 people in it. So, calculate the weighted average. Okay, so let's think about this. We have, and I really would like to have another column over here, so I'm going to put the column over here. And I'm going to call this column total points. Because if there were 10 people enrolled and they averaged a 44, then if I multiply that, they scored a total of 440 points. If 25 students averaged 76, then when I multiply those together, they would have a total of 900 points. And if I had 30 students who averaged an 84, when I multiply those, they would have a total of 2520. So I could take my total points, divide by the total number of students we're talking about, and that would give me my weighted average. So my total points is 4860. My total number of students is 65. So I take 4860 divided by 65, and my average score is 74.77, which you might say is not a whole lot different, but it is. A 68 is a D, and a 74.77 is a mid-C, which is very different. So it's very important to kind of keep that in mind. All right. A student's final grade is determined by the weights on the left and the earned scores on the right. Assume each score is out of 100. That's important to know that these are consistent. Okay. So, we're back to the right button. So, we need to find the weighted average. Okay. So I've got presentations, midterms, final, quizzes, and attendance. I'm going to make my weights my first column. So 25%, 20%, 25%. It is important, too, that you make sure that your percentages always add up to 100%. That's crucial. Now we have our category average. So when I look at this, I have 3 presentations. So I first need to add those 3 together. When I add those 3 together, I get 205. I divide by the 3 presentations, and my category average is 68.33. I only have 1 midterm, so that averages 60. 1 final, that averages 85. Then I go to my quizzes, and there's 4 of them. So when I add these 4 together, I get 249 divided by 4, which gives me an average of 62.25. And then I have 4 homework grades, attendance grade, including that 0. So 300 divided by 4, my attendance average is 75. All right, let me clear this out of the way so we get a little room over here. And now I can say, okay, now we talk quality points. Weight times category average. So 0.25 times 68.33. The quality points for my presentation is 17.08. 20% times 60. I earned 12 points for my midterm. I multiply 0.25 times 85, and I earned 21.25 points for my final. 20% times 62.25, I earned 12.45 points for my quiz, and 10% times 75 for attendance, I earned a 7.5 points for my attendance. When I add all of my quality points up, I get a grade final of 70.28, which is a C. Skin of the teeth, but still a C. So that was percents. Now we go back to counts. An artist sells 12 portraits for 75, 15 landscapes for 60, and 30 postcards for 5. Based on these sales, what is the average value of the art he sold? Okay, so we've got portraits, we've got landscapes, and we've got postcards. So we've got numbers, and we've got dollar amounts. 12 portraits at 75, 15 landscapes at 60, 30 postcards at 5. Look, the majority of the stuff he sold was postcards for cheaper money. That's going to make a difference. So here's my total money. If I sold 12 portraits at $75 a piece, I earned $900 there. 15 landscapes at $60 a piece, that's $900 there. And 30 postcards at $5 is $150. So now we are looking at total money divided by the total number of items I sold. So total money, $19.50. Total number of things I sold, 57. So what is $19.50 divided by 57? Well, $34.21. And even though both of these items are way higher than 34, because the majority of the items that were sold were only $5, that really brought the overall average price down. And last problem. Students applying for a scholarship are given a score out of 10 points in the areas of need, application, and interview. Based on the weights and the scores in the table, who would earn the scholarship? Okay, so if you think about this, each one is done the same. So for James, I would take 40% times 9.5 plus 25% times 6 plus 35% times 8.2. And James would earn, he would have 8.17 points, right? And because these are weights, we would be dividing by 1. So his score is just an 8.17. Teresa, we still take, now the only thing we change is the value inside parentheses, right? The weights remain the same. So I just change the numbers in parentheses for whatever they are in the table, and Teresa's at an 8.24. Then we go to Maria. Again, the only thing that, this is a pretty color of blue. The only thing that changes is the number inside the parentheses. And that gives me a 7.23. And then let's use a darker blue for Samuel, and we get 7.2. Again, same weights. The only thing that changes is inside the parentheses. 8.17. So based off of this calculation, Teresa is our scholarship winner because she has an 8.24 quality points where everybody else is lower than that.